Example 5, graph this function. Okay, so if you look back at the steps, you're going to have step 1 is find the vertical asymptotes, and step 2 is find the horizontal asymptotes. If you look back at example 4a, we've already done this same problem. We just found the vertical asymptotes were 3 and -2, and the horizontal asymptote at 0. So we're looking right here. We've already done this work. So vertical asymptotes, we're not going to do the same work again. Vertical asymptotes, x equals 3 and x equals -2. That comes from factoring the bottom and finding the zeros. Horizontal asymptotes, since the degree of the top is less than the degree of the bottom, there's a horizontal asymptote at y equals 0. So if I was going to draw this, it's kind of hard to draw freehand, but I wanted you to practice. So we're going to have a vertical asymptote at x equals 3 and also one at x equals -2 and a horizontal asymptote at y equals 0. So we've kind of got the boundaries for whatever our graph is about to look like. So back to the steps. Step 3, they want us to plug in 0. They want us to find f of 0. So f of 0, if we plugged in 0 in for all of the x's will go away. We'll get -2 over -6, which is 1/3. So we can plot the point 0, 1/3, about right there, and move on to step 4. Step 4, find the x-intercepts. The x-intercepts are going to be where the top equals 0. The numerator equals 0 at x equals 2. And so x equals 2, there's going to be an x-intercept right there. Now notice that this graph is going to cross that horizontal asymptote. That's okay. It can cross a horizontal asymptote, it just will never cross a vertical asymptote. Step 5. Find out if it intersects the horizontal asymptote. Well, we can already see that it's going to, but normally what you would do is you would take the function and set it equal to whatever the horizontal asymptote was. Okay, so in this case, that's this 0 right here. Well, we just found where the function equals 0 in the last step. We can do some solving if we want to, but if you cross multiply, that's gonna give you x minus 2 equals 0. Add 2, you're gonna get x equals 2. So the point that we just found a minute ago, that x-intercept happens to be where this graph is gonna cross the x-intercept. Step 6. Step 6 is just find some more points. Okay, and so we need to plug some points in here. I'm running out of room, so maybe I will do my table going sideways. And here's where those of you with a graphing calculator have a huge advantage. If you enter the function on your calculator, make sure you put parentheses around numerator and denominator. First of all, you can see what the graph looks like. Okay, the graph's going to look like this. You can kind of see where the vertical asymptotes would be and the horizontal asymptote would be. But you go to the table, so second graph right there, and you can do as many numbers as you'd like. So I like to find numbers kind of around my asymptotes. So think about where the asymptotes are. We have an asymptote at -2 and +3. So let's find some other numbers besides that. Okay, So I think -4 and -3 might be good numbers. And in between -2 and 3, we've already got 0 and we've already got 2 shown on the graph, so maybe we do -1 and +1. And then on the other side of 3, maybe we pick 4 and 5. Now we can do more. As a matter of fact, if we did decimal numbers, it would probably be easier. But if I plug in -4, I'm going to get -0.4 about. So you can kind of look down at -4, you're getting -0.429. We can't really graph all that accurate, but -4 is about -0.4 or so. So -4, 1, 2, 3, 4, -0.4, about right there. -3 is -0.8, about. Notice I'm just approximating here. -3, -0.8. And so you can kind of see what's going to happen. It might be nice to change if you do a table set, so go second and window, if you changed your delta table to like 0.5, that's kind of nice because now your table is going to go by 0.5 instead of just by every one. So if you wanted to know, like, say, -2.5, you can go down here to -2.5. And see, -2.5 is about -1.6. So if I did -2.5, I get about -1.6. So -2.5, -1.6. Okay, well, we can see what this is going to look like right here. So now we need to think about the section in between the two asymptotes. And so if I plug in -1, -1 gives me 0.75. Let's go back to red. -1, 0.75 is right there. And if I do +1, +1 gives me about 0.16, so about 0.2 or so, 0.17 or so, whatever. 1, 0.17, just really low, slightly above the line. But again, we can kind of get a feel for what's happening there. It's going to go approach, curve around here and cross, and approach. And then if we plug in 4, oh, notice, by the way, when you plug in -2 or when you plug in 3, you're getting an error. That's how it's going to show you that's where the asymptote is. If you plug in 4, you get 0.3 repeating. And if you plug in 5, 0.2 or so. Keep in mind, I'm only estimating. So 4, 0.3. 5, 0.2. You can do more points if you like. But that's what our graph looks like. And again, if you have a graphing calculator, it's kind of nice because you can see if you're right. That's exactly what it looks like. It looks like we're right. And there we are.